Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Let's get right into it. I don't even need to say anything. If you haven't already, subscribe. It's time to take a ride. How on God's green earth is it possible that Dak Prescott goes from being ranked the 9th best quarterback last season by NFL executives, coaches, and scouts? And I'm about to get to that in a second. How does he go from being ranked the 9th best quarterback last season to coming back a year later in a brand new offense under a brand new offensive coordinator, essentially, with brand new pieces and no running game, and still ends up being second in MVP voting, second team All-Pro, and arguably was the best quarterback all season long last season? How is it possible that he goes back a rank on the list of NFL executives, GMs, and scouts and coaches? How is that possible? Actually, better question. How is it possible that Jared Goff was not ranked last season and he had a marginally better season this year, didn't do anything crazy? In fact, let's take a look at a comparison between Dak and Jared Goff, which, by the way, Dak beat the Lions head to head on the heels of plays that he made. Let's see, they both won 12 games. Dak beat him head to head. Dak had a higher completion percentage by 2 percentage points. Dak averaged more passing yards per attempt. Jared Goff barely averaged more passing yards per game with 4 passing yards. Dak had 6 more passing touchdowns. Dak had 3 less interceptions. Dak had a 8-point higher quarterback rating. Dak had more rushing yards. Dak had 2 rushing touchdowns, averaged more rushing yards per attempt, has more accolades than Jared Goff, has not ever been traded by the team that drafted him. Why is it that Jared Goff just all of a sudden catapulted ahead of Dak Prescott? Especially if we're supposed to be basing these rankings off of what you've seen most recently, the most recent product that you've seen on the field, the most consistent body of work across both players. Hell, forget 2023. We can look at it for their entire careers. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. And to be quite frank, it's not really close, man. Dak for his career has a 99 quarterback rating. That quarterback rating puts him in the same conversation as guys like Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and all these other people because they had similar statistics. We're talking about measurable statistics, bro. Dak Prescott has had a better career than Jared Goff, and he had a better 2023 than Jared Goff. So how is it possible that Jared Goff moves up on this list, but Dak Prescott somehow moved back on this list? Are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers, the dude with 1 Achilles, is ahead of Dak Prescott on this list at this point in his career at this age? Given how Aaron Rodgers looked the last time we seen him, and then given the fact that he didn't play all last season? CJ Stroud, a rookie, going into his 2nd season. This right here lets me know why there are so many teams in the NFL that suck ass, that are garbage juice, bruh. There are so many teams that have not won anything and never will win anything because they're hiring and have employed these numbskull ass scouts, executives, and GMs and all these other people that don't know how to evaluate players, bro. Because what are you looking at? It can't be the fact that he's led the highest scoring offense since 2019, totaling 2,335 points, more than any other team in the league. It can't be that Dak Prescott was ranked the best quarterback on 3rd down last season based off of EPA per dropback or expected points added. It can't be that he was actually one of the lowest rated quarterbacks as it pertains to highest rate of incompletions due to inaccurate passes, which means that Dak Prescott was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the entire league last season, bro. It couldn't be the fact that he led the league in on-target passing percentage last season, which again fortifies the idea that he was the most accurate quarterback in the league. Forget the fact that his completion percentage was the highest too. It can't be that he was the most clutch quarterback in the league in games under 14 points or in games on crucial downs and third and fourth downs and stuff like that. Dak was rated as the highest quarterback in the league, bro. He had the highest clutch statistic in the entire league. It can't be the fact that he's actually outplayed the guy that y'all put at number one. He's outplayed that guy in the last 50 starts, bro. Dak has better statistics than Patrick Mahomes. Couldn't be the fact that Dak was rated the highest quarterback via QBR under pressure last season at 65.4, which means if you blitz him, you cooked. He dealt with pressure better than any quarterback in the league. He was top 2 or 3 in pretty much every quarterback category last season. And if you actually take a look at it, Dak has been money damn near throughout his whole career, bro. Look at this. 2023, 105.9 rating. 2022, 91.1. That's a down year for him. That's some dude's career highs. 2021, 104.2. 2020, 99.6. 2019, 99.7. 2018, 96.9. Rookie year, 104.9. Had a better rookie year than CJ Stroud, by the way. Oh, and before y'all start trying to make it seem like he's doing this against all the weakest teams in the league, the Cowboys have pretty much played a league average schedule. It hasn't been a super strong schedule, and it damn sure hasn't been a super weak schedule. What about this nice little graph showing how good Dak Prescott was on broken plays last season, which, in my opinion, is one of the places where you truly get to evaluate how good a quarterback actually is. Can he make plays that aren't on schedule? Can he make plays that are off script when needed? And how well does he play on script? Well, this graph reflects what type of QBs thrived in breakdown situations compared to on-script plays last season. And if you look at this, Dak Prescott was the best backyard player last season out of anybody. And it wasn't actually close. And he was one of the best on-script players last season. So you got a dude that's making plays off script, which we've seen several times last season for big plays. The CeeDee Lamb catch against Detroit, off script. The catch against the Seattle Seahawks on the sideline, off script. We've seen a bunch of those plays last season. But Dak Prescott is good not only off script, but on script as well, because he was one of the highest rated quarterbacks there. But way over here to the right, you can see he's one of the best backyard and on script players, which means he gives you the best of both worlds. He can literally do whatever you need a quarterback to do. What is it that Dak Prescott can't do? And don't say, oh, win in the playoffs. That's a team thing. What is it as a quarterback? What is it that you're looking at as Dak Prescott as a weakness? Answer that question for me. You can't say arm strength. There's plenty of video showing that's a lie. You can't say accuracy. There's plenty of evidence showing that's a lie. What is it that he can't do? What is it that's preventing people from wanting to give him his credit as easily as they want to give credit to guys like Jared Goff? Or is it simply because a lot of you guys, a lot of the smart folks out there, y'all had certain grades and ratings on all these players, and most of these guys haven't panned out. Jared Goff really didn't pan out till he got traded to Detroit. And now any chance y'all see, any little sliver of sunlight y'all get that shines a little bit of light on y'all's previous takes on these players, y'all grasp and cling to it and use that as an excuse for you to make asinine rankings and lists like the one we just looked at. And then Justin Herbert. Why is he here? He had a down season last year. He's accomplished less than Dak Prescott in the playoffs. Hell, he can barely get his team to the playoffs. And then Matthew Stafford. I'm not going to go too hard on him. I think Matthew Stafford is a supremely talented quarterback. He's a Super Bowl champion. I think that in that range, 6 to 7 is where Matthew Stafford should be at. You move Dak Prescott to his correct position, which is probably about 4 or 5 on this list, to be quite honest. You move him up to the correct position, Matthew Stafford naturally slides into his proper position. So I have no issue with this. Lamar Jackson should not. If you're going to have your list built like this, there is no reason for Lamar Jackson to be behind Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, because neither one of those guys have accomplished as much as Lamar Jackson. I don't give a damn about, oh, Joe went to the Super Bowl his rookie year. What has he done since then? What has he done since then? And when did it become that all you have to do is make it to a Super Bowl and your career is made for the rest of your career, bro? For the rest of your career, you have the pass of you made it to a Super Bowl. When did that become a thing? Joe Burrow and Josh Allen shouldn't be ahead of Lamar Jackson if we're looking at this list. Patrick Mahomes, I have no real issue with. But this list right here, seriously, is a prime example of why so many fan bases, this is why they are subjected to misery and failure and disappointment, is because they have executives, coaches, and scouts that have no clue what the hell they're doing, or they're operating from a place of pride because people were first-round draft picks, or they graded them as first-round draft picks. They evaluated them as a certain type of player, as I'm sure is the case with a guy like a Jared Goff and a Justin Herbert and some of these other guys that are way too high up on this list, because Joe Burrow is not the second best quarterback in the NFL. He is not the second best quarterback in the NFL. I would put, if you're going to put Joe Burrow that high, you have to put Brock Purdy that high. You see, it's not just Dak Prescott. This entire list exposes all of these executives for not knowing what the hell they're actually looking at or looking for, or how to evaluate players. And this is why so many teams can't find real franchise quarterbacks. This is why. Because these dudes don't know what the hell they're looking at or looking for when it comes to quarterback play. Jared Goff should not be ahead of Dak Prescott on any quarterbacking list. And it's just ridiculous that the quarterback conversation for Dak Prescott has reverted back to the point where now, somehow, even though he's getting better, even though Dak has gotten better each year, bro, even though he's getting better, somehow his standing in the quarterback hierarchy continues to go down. Jared Goff is not playing the position better than Dak Prescott. Tape won't tell you that. Stats won't tell you that. Only ignorant ass NFL executives, GMs, and scouts who have their pride in their head so far up their ass that they can't breathe a lick of fresh oxygen, only those people are going to be the ones to tell you that Jared Goff is better than Dak Prescott in any way, because he hasn't proven to be better in clutch situations. Because I'm sorry, he's lost in two of the most clutch games. He didn't win those games. You don't get an award for just showing up. Jared Goff has weapons across the field, from his tight end with Sam Laporta to his wide receivers with Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you got the two-headed running back, and then you got the offensive line there as well. Jared Goff has the perfect situation around him, and Dak Prescott was getting criticized for having Ezekiel Elliott, having a good offensive line, having a decent receiver. Dak Prescott, that was one of the biggest things, one of the biggest reasons no one wanted to give Dak Prescott his credit. That was one of the biggest reasons. It's because he had Zeke. It's because he had a wide receiver. It's because he had an offensive line. But for some reason, that gets ignored with Jared Goff. I am on these analysts and ESPN and these other teams' executives. I am on people's necks like never before this upcoming season. I suggest you subscribe. We still the same old Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still the ball? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.